Мы сейчас хотели бы подключить по скайпу Мун Рибас. Я уже представлял ее вкратце. Это человек, который может ощущать вибрации Земли и передавать это все в танец.
So, well, I identify myself as a cyborg because I'm both biologically and psychologically united to cybernetics. I have a couple of implants in my arms that allow me to extend my perception beyond my traditional senses. So since 2013, my body is permanently connected to online seismographs from around the world that allow me to feel the seismic activity of the planet. So I can sense all the earthquakes in the world from 1 in Richter scale through vibrations in my left arm. So now I'm here, I'm in New York, but if there's an earthquake in Japan or in Greece, I will feel a vibration inside my arm. And depending on the intensity of the earthquakes, the vibration I feel are stronger or weaker. So at the beginning, I had to get used to this constant input, but after some weeks, my body got used to receive all these seismic vibrations every day. When these vibrations, when this movement, when this universal motion became an emotion, it's when I felt cyborg. It's when I felt that cybernetics and my organism had united and given me a new sense, which I call the seismic sense. We are used to see the map of the Earth with the lines of the continents, but underneath of the lines of the continents, there are the tectonic plates. There are eight major tectonic plates, 10 minor plates, and many macro plates. And the tectonic plates are alive, they constantly move, they evolve, they create and release tension. The tectonic plates create earthquakes. And earthquakes have always existed. They are part of our nature, and they are still a very mysterious phenomenon. Also, in 2010, my childhood friend and fellow cyborg Neil Harbison and I created the Cyborg Foundation with 3 aims. 1, to help humans to become cyborgs. 2, to defend cyborg rights. And 3, to promote cyborg art as an artistic and social movement. Cyborg comes from the union between 2 words, cybernetics and organism. And it was created to define humans that modify themselves in order to survive in space. In the endless list of cyborg definition that we have nowadays, we have tried to nail it down in 3 general ways of defining a cyborg, or 3 different ways of defining the union between cybernetics and an organism. So one could be a psychological cyborg, which is the feeling of being cyborg. Most of you probably psychological cyborgs. You're psychologically united to technology. When our phones are running out of battery, you probably say, I'm running out of battery, instead of saying, my phone is running out of battery. One also could be a biological cyborg, which is the physical union between an organism and technology. And the last one, it could be a neurological cyborg, which is the modification of the mind through cybernetics. If we stand our senses by applying technology in our bodies, we'll modify our perception and our brains in long term. Also, I'm a dancer and I'm a movement researcher. Since I was studying dance in college, I've been searching for a way to feel and explore movement in a deeper way. I experimented with perception of movement with technology in different ways. The first experiment that I did was the sensing speed. I wore a kind of glove that would tell me on the screen of the glove the speed of the people walking in front of me. But that wasn't good enough, as I had to look at the screen to know the speed of the people walking in front of me. And I didn't want to know the speed, I wanted to feel the speed. I didn't want to use technology as a tool, I wanted to become technology. So in order to do that, I created a pair of earrings with the help of a friend that vibrate every time that someone would walk in front of me. So if someone was walking from right to left, I would feel a vibration first on my right ear and then on my left ear. And depending on the interval of each vibration, I would know the speed of the people walking in front of me. After that, I did a project about the speed of the citizens of each capital of Europe. And I realized that the people change their speed depending on where they are. There's a common tendency to walk like the people around you. So you probably will walk faster if you are in Paris than if you are in San Marino. There's an unconscious movement, commune tendency. After doing this research and finding the average speed of the citizens of each capital, I can say that one of the fastest cities is London, and one of the slowest I ever been is the Vatican City. And I remember that I was in Moscow, and I feel that Moscow was very calm in their speed. So you walk just calmly on the streets. After wearing the earrings for some time, I decided to turn them around, and the vibrations the sensor would focus on the back, and this opened my spatial awareness also on the back of my body, because all our senses are focused on what we have in front, but our back it's very poor sensorily speaking. If we could all feel what we had behind, maybe our behavior would also change, and maybe even new sports would be created having this new sense. After perceiving what I had behind and focusing the movement that surrounded me, I wanted to perceive something more universal, something that didn't come from people or objects. And when you think about dance, you think about movement, and then you realize that not only humans move, there are many things that move and in many different ways. The planet moves constantly, not only rotates, but it also shakes. It shakes every day, constantly. It's a huge movement that is most of the time imperceptible, the earthquakes. So my aim was to introduce this normal movement into my body, to transpose this huge universal movement into one body. And earthquakes as the choreography that it's a choreography that we cannot predict. It's our planet's dance. The friction of the tectonic plates can resemble the dance floor of a ballroom. Earth can be a lethal dance partner unless we have to learn to dance with it. Earthquakes are the heartbeat of our planet. I say it as the earth beat. Now I feel I have two beats, my own and the earth, having its own rhythm in my own body. This sense has changed my perception of the planet. Now I feel more connected to the earth. Before I knew that the earth was a living organism, but now I feel it. Also, if there's a big earthquake in the middle of the night, I would wake up, so earth keeps interrupting me, my daily life. I think it's unfair that earthquakes are seen as a bad thing happening in our planet, when we are the ones that haven't been able to adapt to this natural phenomenon. In art, I think that artists no longer need to use technology as a tool. We can become technology in order to create new senses and then express ourselves through these new senses. I see the extension of the human senses to technology as an art itself, as cyborg art. Art that happens inside the body, inside one's brain. So the artwork of a cyborg artist would be the creation of a new sense. My seismic sense is my artwork, but I'm the only one in the audience because I'm the only one who can perceive these vibrations inside me. So in order to share my experience and create external artwork and then revealing what is happening. So I express my seismic sense to different art forms such as dance, sculpture, or music. So one of my dance pieces is called Waiting for Earthquakes, where I stand still and I wait for an earthquake to take place, which is very often. And every time I feel a vibration, I move according to the intensity of the magnitude of the earthquake. So if there are no earthquakes during the performance, there's no dance. This piece is based on real time. So actually the earth is my choreographer. She tells me when to move. She marks the rhythm. And I'm just interpreting the real data. Earthquakes are the natural rhythm of our planet. I also made a sculpture, a 3D printed replica of my arm that vibrates every time there's an earthquake in real time. So visitors in the museum can touch the arm and feel an earthquake if anything is happening. It's a cyborg of sculpture because it's a sculpture cybernetically connected to a living organism, which is the Earth. And also in music, I also transform this new input into seismic percussion. I do concerts where I play the drum. The rhythm of the score is defined by the rhythm of the tectonic plates. Earth in this case is the composer of the piece. And now that I'm a cyborg, I don't feel closer to machines or to robots. I feel closer to nature because I can feel my planet. And I feel closer to other animal species because I can feel earthquakes like other animals can. I really believe that we need to learn much more from other animal species. We can get inspired from them. If we take a look at our animal senses, we realize that what we think is very unnatural is actually very natural. Some animals can fly, some animals can create light, some animals can perceive infrared and ultraviolet, and even immortality already exists in nature because there are jellyfish that never die. If we would extend our senses in order to perceive and understand our planet in a deeper way, our behavior would also change. So I'm suggesting that in this century, rather than giving new senses to our machines, we could give new senses to ourselves. For example, let's take light, for instance. Us, we haven't developed night vision like other species have. Wouldn't it be more logical to change ourselves in order to see at night than changing the environment? If Edison would have created night vision instead of a light bulb, we could still be able to see the stars at night. The pollution and energy waste created by artificial light is damaging our planet. It's daylight outside, yet we sit inside the room with artificial light because we are blind and unable to see each other without it. If Wright brothers invented wings instead of airplanes, would be the ones flying. We say that we fly from Paris to New York. It's not entirely true. The plane is the one flying. The origins of the word cyborg talked about enlarging the human experience and that cybernetics would free the man to explore. I think it's in the human nature to explore, and we are natural explorers that wander and evolve. So I think that being human, we haven't been humans always. We are constantly evolving, and this is part of our nature. So my current stage is space exploration. I want to perceive moonquakes, the seismic activity on the moon. So I'm moving the seismic sense on my feet because I feel that it's more natural to feel the seismic activity on my feet. And if I'm able to connect to the seismic activity on the moon, this will allow me to be in two places at the same time. So my body will be physically on Earth, but my feet will feel the moon. Our senses no longer need to be attached to our body anymore. If we use internet as a sense, we can perceive things that are far from our bodies. We can perceive things that are happening in the other side of the planet, or even space. We can explore space through our senses and become sensastronauts. So we can stay in our planet but still explore through our senses. Let's start using technology to have to open our eyes and our minds. And let's listen to our planet and leave Earth in peace. Let's try not to change our planet and be brave enough to change ourselves instead. We are the ones who need to make sure that the union between our species and technology does not alienate us from nature, but instead bring us closer to it, to other animal species, to our planet, and to outer space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mun.